Hello witches, wizards, and those who are yet to receive their Hogwarts school letters, welcome to my Harry Potter kitchen. This is the YouTube series where I'm baking my way through the Harry Potter books, making recipes for all of the food and drink that we find inside. If you missed last week's recipe where we served up a vibrant green polyjuice potion packed full of kale, spinach and kiwi, then make sure you check out the link down below in the description to catch up. And if it's your first time in the kitchen and you want to see more, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell, then you'll get an alert every Magic Monday when there's a brand new recipe. Speaking of which, I'm in the mood for some more potions, so let's head back into the chamber. Okay, so after last week's potion, let's head back in to see what's next. Okay, so they realise that they need to go into the restricted section of the library to find that polyjuice potion, or they could just watch my Harry Potter kitchen. Now it's the end of the chapter, so we'll move on to chapter 10, the Rogue Bludger. So we now have a few more classes with Lockhart, who seems to be getting on everybody's nerves, but Harry is a bit more nervous about the match against Slytherin, as he needs to beat Malfoy. So it is the day of the match, and they are all very, very excited. Unfortunately, there seems to be a bit of a Rogue Bludger that is bewitched and coming after Harry. They're not supposed to choose anyone in particular, but this one definitely has it in for him, so he is trying his best to avoid the bludger while also finding the snitch. Then gets himself into a very dangerous situation. He does catch the snitch, but he's fallen to the ground, and Lockhart has come over to help mend a bone, and he's lost all of the bones in his arm. But thankfully, Madam Pomfrey has a solution, and I can see that as our next recipe. Madam Pomfrey was holding a large bottle of something labelled Skele-Gro. Looks like it's time for another potion. If you'd like to recreate this Skele-Gro potion that really is good for your bones, then all of the ingredients, measurements and method are up on my website, bradleybakes.co.uk. The link is down below in the description. We're back with another homemade potion recipe, this week for Skele-Gro, and I finally get to use my Skele-Gro bottle that's been sitting on my shelf for months and months. But of course, we need something magical to fill it up with, and that's going to be our easy homemade Skele-Gro potion. Now this potion recipe is really, really quick to make, and it includes a little bit of natural muggle magic, and that's because Skele-Gro helps you regrow bones. So what we're going to do with this is pack it full of ingredients that are also really good for growing bones, and that way you can enjoy it while also getting a little bit of a health kick. We'll talk about the ingredients in a bit more detail shortly, but first up, let's prep them. First up, we're going to prepare the papaya by peeling off the skin and then chopping it in half. Scoop out some of the seeds from the middle and then roughly chop it up. Our passion fruits are up next, so I'm just going to slice these in half and then scoop out the insides. I've got myself some dates that are already pitted and de-seeded, but if yours have seeds inside, then you can cut them in half and remove the seeds. And then our last fruit to prepare is our bananas, which is probably the easiest. Just peel off the skin and then roughly chop it up. So that is how easy it is to prepare your ingredients for your homemade Skele-Gro potion. But before we move on to blending that together, I want to talk a bit more about those ingredients, because as I mentioned at the start, this one is going to contain a lot of natural muggle magic and be really helpful if you do want to grow your bones. Now, one thing we need for healthy bones is calcium, so that's why we've got milk, yogurt and dates, all natural sources of calcium. But something you might not know about calcium is our body struggles to handle large quantities of it, so we need vitamin D, and that will help our body to break that down and to use it correctly. So I've got vitamin D fortified into my yogurt just to help get an extra boost, and then also some papaya, passion fruit and goji berries, which all have vitamin D in as well. Goji berries are also a great source of protein to help building muscle mass, and then we're going to finish it off with some bananas, a good source of fibre, which will help bring everything together as well as supporting our digestive system. So I'm going to move on to blitzing and blending that all together using my hand blender, or you can do it in a large jug as well, and then we'll bottle it up and it'll be ready to go. Creating your final Skele-Gro potion is really easy. All you need to do is add your fruits into your jug. So that's our papaya, bananas, dates, passion fruit and goji berries. Top it off with your yogurt and then pour over your milk. Blend this together until it is nice and smooth, and then give it a quick taste. You can of course add in different quantities of your fruit or some extra milk if you prefer it less thick, and then it should be good to bottle up, and it will keep in the fridge for about 3 days. Pour it into your glasses, take a big swig, and then you can sit back and wait for the magic to happen. So there you have it, a super easy and a super healthy homemade Skele-Gro potion that really is good for mending bones. Let me know down below in the comments what you think of this recipe and if you're going to give it a go. That's all for this week's episode, but if you want to see more from my Harry Potter kitchen, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell, then you'll get an alert every Magic Monday when there's a brand new recipe. I'm off to go mend some bones, so I'll see you next week. Thanks, Madam Pomfrey. Tastes like magic too.